So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined once again by unbeaten super bantamweight Joké Amechi. Joké, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling good, man. Thank you.
I bumped into you last week, I think it was, a media event for Dan Aziz in St Pancras.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you've got an eliminator for the Southern Area title taking place on the 23rd of March. Just tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about that and how that opportunity came up.
Um, so I was previously meant to box in November, um, against Andre Santa for this eliminator. The fight got rescheduled because he was injured, apparently. And then in December, when it was rescheduled for about a month before then, actually about 3 weeks before. Sorry, the fight was October the 5th, got rescheduled for December. About 3 weeks before the fight, I was told that yeah, he's pulled out and I was unable to get a replacement, a fight that made sense basically, because yeah, I've kind of been telling Goodwin that I want to push on. Um I got into the sport of boxing late. I know how good I am, and I kind of just want to push on. And so Goodwin, and I'm thankful for how hard he's tried, was just looking at what fights would make sense. And he found, I would say, an even better step up than Santa was. Santa's had 4 fights, lost one. So a bit more experienced than me. Now I'm fighting or I'm boxing Piotr Mirga.
Hmm.
I think he's had 9 fights, lost two.
Yeah.
Um, he's had 10 round contests before, so this will be my first 10 rounder. So he's a bit more experienced, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm buzzing. I can't lie. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And Piotr Mirga is a former Southern Area champion. I was actually ringside when he won the belt in a revenge win over Ryan Walker.
Yeah.
So a tough test in that sense. He was actually really good that night. Very fit, awkward as well. How much do you know about him? How much have you seen of him?
Um, it's it's ironic because I sparred Piotr Mirga twice in preparation for that fight.
Right.
Um, yeah, it was good. It was good. So I know him pretty well. I sparred him twice. I saw him win that fight. And then I was also at his last fight, which he lost, unfortunately for him, um, to Ramirez.
Rames Mahmood, yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen him box twice live. I've sparred him twice. So I feel like I'm pretty, yeah, I feel like I know him pretty well enough.
And without giving too much away, give us an idea of how those sparring sessions went in your view.
They went good. They went good. Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Now, a
Yeah.
couple of weeks before your fight with Murga, the Southern Area title, for which you're having an eliminator, is actually being disputed by Frankie Story and the aforementioned Ryan Walker. What do you make of that fight, and who do you expect to come out with the belt?
Uh, it's um it's a difficult one. I've never seen Frankie box live. To be honest, I haven't really seen any of his fights, just snippets. I think a good friend of mine who I met through the boxing scene who documents amazing work, boxing tunes.
Yeah.
I've seen him do something on Frankie's story. I think he had a return fight, maybe came back from a medical condition or something.
Okay.
So I haven't seen him too tough. Ryan Walker, on the other hand, I've sparred him. I've only sparred him once, and I've seen him box once live. Um, I watched one of his recent fights. He boxed Nico Levers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I boxed Nico as an amateur in Sweden, so I
Oh.
wanted to watch that fight just to see how that went. So I can't really, to answer your question, sorry, I can't really say because I don't want to be biased. Ryan's good. He's sharp. But I haven't seen Frankie either. So yeah.
So you're going into a Southern Area eliminator in just your fourth fight. Is that partly because you're slightly older, it's fair to say, than the average prospect? You want to kind of get a move on?
Yeah, definitely so. And because I'm realizing in this boxing scene, especially at this level as you're building, um, opportunities, better opportunities, and things not necessarily become easier, but once you are getting to certain levels, more eyes are on you, more business opportunities open for you. I'm a married man. I have a little one.
Excuse me.
I need to do, it's okay. I need to do what makes sense, you know? And I know I'm good enough. Um, every boxer probably says it, but yeah, I know I'm good enough. So I don't see why not. And I think the longer rounds will suit me much better.
What gives you that assurance that you are good enough to go to the next level? Is it how you performed as a pro? Is it your amateur pedigree? Is it what you've done in sparring against fighters? Give us an idea of where that confidence comes from.
Yeah, definitely. I would say it comes from what I've done in sparring and my amateur pedigree. I've sparred some really good boys where, again, much more experienced, and I did very well. I was pleased with my performance. Um, I picked up the sport pretty quickly, and just life experience as well. Bringing that into the ring and being able to channel it in a way where I'm boxing, I'm not fighting.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like that has given me the grit also, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You mentioned sparring there. Tell us some of the kind of names you've sparred, particularly ones that you've learned the most against or that have tested you.
Um, two names I will mention is one is Chris Bourke.
Hmm.
I've moved around with Chris Bourke quite a lot. And he has he has tested me, he's improved me immensely. With him, I've always had to sometimes maybe overthink.
Hmm.
And I would say, I can openly say that he's the first boxer I've come across that I felt like, whoo, like, oh, yeah, I felt that a little.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he's a quality boxer. He's a cool guy in the ring, outside the ring. I would say his level is really good. And he's always made me think hard. Like I can't sleep with him. Sometimes I am a bit too relaxed. My
Hmm.
coaches tell me this all the time. I'm too relaxed, but he's someone that I can't switch off with. Mas Masood is another one that I've moved around with. He's a bit heavier, but um this was more earlier on when I had transitioned towards pro level. And Mass, oh, he's quality. Very, very, very good boxer. Strong, fit, um, resilient, and again, can't switch off with him. So those are two boxers that I would say that I've moved around with, and despite their level, I felt like I held myself well.
And your division, super bantamweight, especially domestically, is attracting a lot of attention at the moment. There's two big super bantamweight fights on Frank Warren's Magnificent Seven show, which got formally announced last week. Dennis McCann's taking on Brad Strand, and Liam Davis is going for the IBO world title against the guy who beat Lee McGregor in an upset not too long ago. Have you seen much about those two fights? And if so, any experience with any of those guys?
No experience with any of those guys. Funnily enough, I met Dennis McCann once in the amateurs where he watched my fight. I think I was boxing in the developments. He watched my fight. I had won, and when I left the ring, he stopped me and he asked me if I would like some rounds. I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know who he was, had no idea who. And I was like, okay, what weight are you? He said the same weight as you. I thought, oh, okay. And in my head, I thought, did he see me win that fight and think, oh, I can have this guy? And thought he'd try his luck.
Might be the
In
other way round. He might have been impressed and thought you could push him.
yeah, but in my head at that time, because it was weird. It was weird because I'd never met him before, and he just randomly said, "Oh, do you want to do some rounds?" Well, like, yeah. And then, lo and behold, several months later, I see he's this big prospect. I was like, oh, that's the guy that we never ever got round to sparring, by the way. I thought, oh, that's the guy who. So yeah, but yeah, none of those guys I've had any experience with.
And it's also recently been announced that Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn have signed a deal for their stables to compete against each other in a 5-against-5 card, all different weights, so each fight at a different weight. Just as a fan and someone in the boxing industry, are there any particular fights you'd like to see featuring members of those stables against each other?
I can't really think, to be honest. Um, Boxing for me is a weird one. It's a weird one where I'm just mostly interested in a lot more my friends who are up and coming. Like that's who I really like push and advocate for. Um
I mean, just in your weight division, there's been a bit of talk about Shabazz Massoud, who's with Matchroom, going up against McCann or Liam Davies potentially. Also, the weight above, and this has really attracted attention. Nick Ball, who obviously has a small matter of a WBC world title shot soon anyway, but going
mm.
up against either Lee Wood or Josh Warrington from Matchroom stable. Are they the sort of fights that you'd be interested in as a fan?
Yeah, definitely I would like to see Josh Warrington box, definitely. Only due to the fact that there was at one point I was when I was at his gym, I think a gym that he trained in, Dickie's gym.
Dickies Gym, yeah. Batley.
Yeah, Batley, yeah. I trained there before, and yeah, so the fact that I was there, I kind of thought, and I got to know a bit more about him. So I thought, yeah, he seemed like a genuine guy that is put in his graft. So yeah, he would be someone that I'd be interested in watching, definitely.
Just generally, outside of those two stables, who do you like to watch at the moment, either domestically, worldwide? Who do you enjoy watching?
So at the moment, I enjoy Zelfa Barrett.
Mm.
Um, I think he's quality. When I was an amateur, before I had my first amateur fight, um, and hopefully he sees this, before I had my first amateur fight, I came across him and I thought that's someone who I want to box like. I loved his style and everything. Um, I did meet him in person at Mirga and Ramez's fight. He
Yeah.
was he was there, he was there, and yeah, spoke to him and I told him the same thing, to be honest. But I don't shy away from that type of stuff. If I think a boxer's quality, I will tell them and I let him know. Inoue, I
Oh yeah.
watch. Um,
Well, he's in your division now, isn't he? So
yeah. Maybe one day.
yeah.
Who else do I like watching? Um, how has his name gone out my head? It's another Filipino. There's a Filipino boxer. I watch him quite often as well. His name's literally just gone out my head.
I'm
I may
trying to
have
think.
mentioned it
Yeah,
before.
I'm trying to think who Casimiro, maybe?
No,
No?
no, Super Bantam.
Donaire?
Donaire, that's it. Nonito. Yeah. Yeah, I love watching him. I like his style as well. Just just doesn't do too much, but does yeah, just textbook.
Very
He's
efficient.
yeah, wicked, yeah.
And you mentioned Zelfa Barrett there as someone you look up to, or you did kind of pattern your style after to an extent. His next fight was announced yesterday. He's going
Yeah.
up against Jordan Gill, who's coming off a massive upset win over Mick Conlon. What do you make of that fight? It seems like a really interesting kind of crossroads domestic clash.
Yeah, so I saw that I saw that on Instagram and um I think Zelfa I think Zelfa has all the tools. Sharp, power, count like IQ, everything. I think he has all the tools. I don't know if I'm being biased because I really like his style, but I think he has all the tools to win the fight. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he was a bit unlucky in his world title shot. He did really well, was outboxing Rakimov, and then just got ground down. I know he had an injury as well, so hopefully that chance will come again for him.
Yeah. I saw that fight. It was a shame.
Yeah. So just before I let you go, just remind people out there, because I know we did this the first time. Just remind them how they can find you on social media. I know you said last time it's mainly Instagram you use.
Yeah, still the same really. I've tried to use other social media platforms, but it just gets difficult to manage it all, to be honest. But my Instagram, Joke E Heritage, so it's joke_E Heritage, and that's where mostly, you'll find me on Instagram. I have recently reactivated my Facebook, and you'll see I'm under Joké Amechi, Joke. My E has an accent, and then Amechi, Amechi.
Great stuff. Very best of luck on the 23rd of March, and hopefully we'll catch up again and you'll be in line for your title shot.
Yeah, perfect, wicked. Yeah.
Great stuff.